I'm Christina Linson, Director of Family Life Preschool at Evergreen Church in Bixby, Oklahoma. Teaching the Bible lesson to a room full of kids can be intimidating if you don't have a plan. Melody Campbell is one of our Sunday school teachers who has some ideas on how you can creatively teach the Bible lesson at your church.
When it's time to teach the lesson, we think it's important to have the kids physically move to a new space in the room. We'll have them clean up the table activities and then move to our carpeted area. This acts as a great reset to help the kids switch their attention to the teaching portion of the class. They may sit in a semicircle in chairs, on a classroom rug where they can pick a spot, on carpet squares, and you can even use placemats. With older kids, you may use a quick transitional activity that involves movements such as stand up and touch your toes or give me 5 jumping jacks. Offer something to break up the class time and physically indicate a change to your class format. A good way to start a Bible lesson is with a hook. A hook is an introduction or opening that grabs the student's attention and creates excitement about the lesson. You could show an object, tell a personal story, play a song, or ask a question. From the very start, create energy about what you're teaching. All of our teachers are gifted in different ways. Some of our teachers use flannel boards. Not only is it a great visual effect for the kids, it also allows the children to get involved in the story. You can have kids place different figures on the board as you tell the story. Betty Lucan's flannel board sets, they're beautiful and very complete, but can cost hundreds of dollars. If you need a more budget-friendly option, print out figures on cardstock and place them on a magnetic whiteboard or poster board. Some teachers use puppets in their classrooms. Getting the kids involved and interacting with the story will help them stay engaged and retain what they've learned. You can use a cast of puppets to tell the story, or one puppet can read the story to the class. Another idea is to make a set of simple finger puppets or craft stick puppets. You could read the script as the kids hold the puppets and act out the scene. One of our teachers brings the same puppet to class each week to tell the memory verse. Each child goes individually to the puppy, they recite the verse, and then they get to feed him a dog treat. I've seen a teacher bring a mouse puppet in a shoebox and do the same thing with a piece of cheese. The kids love it, and they ask to see the puppet each week. Another way to gain attention is with big books, pictures, or posters. Group Publishing sells big Bible story books that are 16 by 20 inches, and they really grab the attention of the class. You can find teaching pictures with most curriculum or find them online. Some of our favorite sites are SundaySchoolZone.com, TrueWayKids.com, and FreeBibleImages.org. Child Evangelism Fellowship offers free PowerPoint presentations too. You can find those links in the description below. Another fun approach is to read the Bible story and then have a few students act out the story wearing simple costumes and perform for the class. You can even rotate kids into different roles. Now, let's think beyond visual aids. Anytime you can incorporate movement for the kids while you're teaching the lesson, you will make an impact. Choose a word from the lesson, and every time the kids hear that word, have them clap their hands. Or anytime you say Jesus, they can hold their Bible over their heads. What if the kids lay down on their backs, looking at the ceiling while you tell the creation story? Turn out the lights, shine a flashlight through a colander to create stars on the ceiling. They will enjoy watching the light show while you read the Bible text. If you're telling the story of the blind man, put blindfolds on each of the kids and then remove them when you read the miracle of Jesus healing him. Your class could sit around a table and build Play-Doh creations that go along with the story that you narrate. Think about incorporating props into your classroom. A spray bottle of water could be used during a storm. You could hide objects that relate to the lesson in a box or a sack. Without looking, let the kids touch and feel and guess what each item is. Then you recap the story based on that prop. Now, with younger kids, you can pass one prop around to each child as you tell the lesson. For example, you use a stuffed sheep as you talk about David's role as a shepherd. One of David's jobs was to care for the sheep. Bah, bah. Men who did this were called shepherds. Another tool you have is your voice. Find places in the text where you can count out objects. For example, some of Jesus' disciples found a little boy who had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 small loaves of bread and 2 tiny fish. You could speak louder with some parts and whisper other parts of the story to get their attention. Suddenly, a great storm came up and the waves began to grow larger and the water was coming into the boat. The disciples were terribly afraid. You can find audio files and play those off your phone for sound effects of thunder or storms, thrashing waves, or men shouting. Use your imagination for endless possibilities. I hope this gives you a little inspiration to creatively teach the next generation God's Word.